"John," I asked my husband, "what would you say if I told you I wanted to buzz my hair?" I'd been toying with the idea of taking his hair clippers and buzzing it all off, but I don't know what he would think. I think he wants me to be girlier than I am. Physically, I'm female. No question about that. The only things that ever bothered me about my body are my breasts. I never wanted them. For those of you who don't have them, imagine 2 grapefruit hanging from your chest. As a child, I want to be a boy. My mother wants a girl and a best friend, and she tries to make me into both. She puts me in dresses, and I don't complain, but I come home covered in mud and get in trouble. I go to quilt shows and craft fairs, but I'd rather be anywhere else. I never say a word to her, though. I think this is what little girls are supposed to do. I never tell her that I feel different no matter what I do. I play the game. I never tell her I want to be a boy. I'm 6 years old. My friend Brian and I go around the playground at recess calling all the girls chicken and clucking at them. When I do play with my one female friend, Jenny, I refuse to play Barbie dolls. She gives me one for my 7th birthday. It ends up under the bed with its head ripped off. That same year, I grab my camp counselor's t-shirt. I take mine off and put his on. He tells me little girls can't take their tops off in public. I don't know why. People think I'm confused, but I'm not confused. I just like what I like. I play sports with the boys, love Hot Wheels and little green army men, but also love stuffed animals. In 7th grade, I'm supposed to start wearing a bra. My mom makes me show her I have it on before I leave. Of course, during first period gym, I take it off. At the end of the week, on Friday, I come home with lots of smelly gym clothes and 5 clean bras. There are other places where I don't quite fit. All of my friends growing up are Christian. My family never subscribes to any religious beliefs, but I want to be like my friends. I start tagging along to the Baptist church with them, but find their view of hell and damnation too confining. I'm 11 years old, and these repressive teachings make no sense to me. As I grow older, I experiment with being a typical woman, but it never fits. When a friend in college tries to do a makeover on me for a blind date, I almost freak out. I let her put the makeup on, but almost immediately wash it off. I hate how it feels. I also buy the occasional skirt and try to act more ladylike. It feels so strange that I stash the skirt in the back of the drawer. I don't even want to see them. I don't carry a purse. I even hate that word for some reason. I shop for most of my clothes in the men's department. I hate chick flicks and would rather watch a football game. What does that make me? Anatomically, I'm female. Emotionally, I'm not. But I don't quite identify with men either. As I grow up, I discover that almost everything I feel about the world doesn't make sense to anyone else. By my early 20s, I come out as bisexual and discover pagan spirituality, which seems to make it even harder to come to terms with being a traditional woman. My mother deserts me right after I graduate high school, when I can no longer pretend to be the little girl that she wanted. At the age of 22, I make a half-hearted attempt to take my life. I am tired of people calling me weird, excluding me from activities, and making fun of me. I don't feel depressed so much as completely alone. After being released from the hospital, I see a psychiatrist and a psychologist for 2 years. One doctor tells me that I will never lead a normal life. Another labels my bisexuality as a maladaptive thinking process related to some mental illness that they decide I have, although they cannot decide which one. My diagnosis changes depending on which doctor is reading my file, but not talking to me. They're all trying to cure me, to make me normal. After 2 years in the system, I discover psychology's biggest secret. Most diagnoses are really a way to control people. My religion is labeled maladaptive. My sexuality is labeled maladaptive. My way of identifying my gender is labeled maladaptive. Everything about me is a disorder to them. Funny thing is, I don't feel like there's anything wrong with me. I feel like there's something wrong with the world that wants me to fit into a tiny box called normal. One day, 2 years after my initial suicide attempt and hospitalization, I give it all up. Stop seeing the therapist. I have my psychiatrist take me off the antidepressants and never go back. I decide that there is nothing wrong with me, and I move forward with my life. I throw off all the baggage that has been hindering me, people's judgments, my feelings of inferiority for not fitting in, and even the mental illness labels that are heaped upon me. I'm done with them all. After dropping out of college twice, I re-enroll in school. I major in psychology. I volunteer at a crisis helpline and talk others out of suicide. I enroll in graduate school, studying the effects of spirituality on mental health. I write my thesis on how pagan spirituality improves people's lives. Instead of being held down by my differences, I start to embrace them. I become more comfortable with who I am, and my long hair no longer feels like it fits. I start to think about shaving my head. I post on Facebook saying I've been considering doing this to see what people think. I am a little scared about how it will look. My friend Pauline chimes in, said she did it for a few years and loved it. And she was someone I always considered to be a girly girl. If she can do it, so can I. I don't care what my husband thinks. I pull out the clippers from under the sink, get the 1-inch guide, I don't want it gone completely, and take it to my head. I smile in the mirror as the hair falls to the sink and the floor. I post before and after pictures on Facebook. People love it. I love it. I've spent years thinking about gender identity, and I've decided that gender is a social construct used to keep people in line. There are certain things that men are supposed to do, and certain things that women are supposed to do. But gender is much more complicated than biology. I'm not transgender. I don't really identify as female, but I don't exactly identify as male either. Frankly, I'm just me. Why do I need to put a label on it? I know that just like when I was little, I'm not confused. I just like what I like.